Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, Jen, good morning. You're loud and clear. I didn't like the passcode in the calendar appointment this morning for some reason.
That's weird. But you were able to get in? How did you get in then?
I clicked the link, but I tried initially going in with passcode and meeting
Yeah,
number.
so we had to switch to Zoom for accessibility because the PUC says anything that we put on our YouTube, we have to have through Zoom because it does closed captioning better.
But in the calendar appointment, there's a meeting number and a passcode, and it didn't like the passcode, FYI.
Huh, that is weird. I'll make sure that they look at that and fix it for next time. Thanks for letting me know.
You bet.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Jennifer, you going to share? Oh, there you go. I was just going to ask if you're going to post the agenda. Fantastic.
I am, and I'm also going to put in the link for sign in. Maybe. Okay. What are you guys seeing on my on the screen here?
I see Google search engine with looks like an elk behind it.
An elk. Okay. I was looking for my controls here. So Zoom functions very differently than Google Meets when you're sharing stuff. It will share, even if you share the application, it's going to share what's on your screen rather than what you want it to be sharing.
Gotcha.
So you guys just get to bear with me while I go through and find the link. And then I'll go back to the agenda. That is not the agenda.
We get to figure out all the new technology this morning.
Well, and it's not new, it's just different.
It is different.
I much prefer Google Meets for sharing because it will only share what you want it to do. And in order to share something different, you have to tell it to share something different. But whatever. The other thing is that we are now being recorded when the meeting starts. So those of you early birds, when you get into the meeting, it's going to record everything. So be aware. And with that, Steve, it is your meeting.
All right. We still have people coming in. We'll give it one more minute.
While we're waiting, Jennifer, one quick question. Do you know where we can get some additional detail as to the threshold that the FCC requires for outage notifications?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I will look for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, and I know that they have, I think they opened comments on outage reporting requirements, so it should be fairly easy to find, but I will find it.
Oh, we did. Joe might remember, or sorry, Daryl.
I was just gonna say, Andrew, are you asking what the threshold is? It's 900,000 user minutes right now, or if you're asking where it is, I can look that up real quick.
900,000 user minutes is helpful.
Yeah, so it's the duration of the outage times the number of users affected.
Thanks,
And-
Daryl.
and
He's so much
technically-
better at holding that stuff in his brain than I am. I have to look it up.
And technically speaking, what the rules say is they have to report the outage if there's a chance that it can reach 900,000 user minutes. So it's a little bit squishy.
Yeah, it seems like that's what I'm sure everybody else is getting this, but we're getting just inundated with outage notifications, and then we go to test it and there doesn't appear to be anything wrong. So it's been interesting.
All right, everybody, I'll call the meeting to order. This is the ESINet user group meeting on April 9th of 2025. It's 10:04 a.m. Welcome, everybody. My name's Steve Silverman. I am your newly elected chair. Bear with me as a rookie. Thanks, Jennifer, for helping out and steering some of the documents. We'll start off by reminding everybody to sign in and kick off to number 3, which is our Lumen system performance reports. We got a new document this morning from Tracy on an updated spreadsheet. And Jennifer, will you be the one to share that, or do you need to?
We can do this one first if you want.
Okay.
Whatever works.
So we'll do, yeah. Nope, sorry, I was making my first mistake. Go to that first document and then we'll go to the spreadsheet.
All right, guys. Steve, we'll go ahead and go through this. This is kind of our performance metrics that I think we all know is pulled through Splunk reporting tool. And let me pull up my notes here. This first graph is really just the network performance, so it's not associated with calls. This is where Lumen keeps pinging the server each time just to make sure the network is up. We had a couple lower numbers there. Like I said, it doesn't impact calls or anything about the tariff. It's just showing connection times to reach your server. Various reasons that can change. Server could be busy, our side could be busy, but as long as it hits it, we're pretty good. I'm going to pause for just a second because I have both folks from my team and Intrado trying to get into the meeting. Do you guys think it's because they're going to Google Docs and not the Zoom link?
It's possible, but that Google link got deleted. And so I'm not sure I'm not sure I can even get in there and tell them where to go.
Let me just ping Rich Johnson back. He said he's trying to get in and he can't. And Andrew Freebird is the same way.
So I'm going to copy the Zoom meeting link into the chat. If you want to copy that out and send it to him, them.
Yeah.
If you use the link, you should be able to get in, no problem.
They said Google's the only link they have. So let me see if they can get this one. Just a second.
I wonder if I can get into the link from previous meetings. Hold on.
Jennifer, I also copied that link and sent it to the group email.
Great.
Do that and help them too. Everybody wants to chat with us. They're just having technical difficulties today, I guess.
Let me get everybody out of the Google Meet and into the Zoom. Hi, Lane. No, we've switched to Zoom. I'm gonna put the Zoom link in the chat for you. Yep. No worries.
Let me copy the chat too, and I'll send it to them.
And again, sorry for the confusion, but the PUC is requiring us to switch to Zoom for accessibility requirements. So there was only one person in that Google Meets link, and I just sent them over to Zoom.
And Jennifer,
Yeah.
when you log in, when you like register or sign into the meeting, register for the meeting, that Google link is on that website. So that may be what people are doing.
Oh,
Because when you sign in, you submit it, and then it takes you to the Google link to sign in. And it's
right.
still Google Meets.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay.
On the web page.
I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute
Okay.
while we sort this out.
Let me go here real quick and let me try to forward this just to Rich Johnson. Andrew looks like he was able to get in.
I made it. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Let me see if I can get Mr. Johnson.
If you're just joining us, we're working through some technical difficulties, getting people logged into the right place.
Okay, I will fix that form, the sign-in form, and put the right link in there. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Are we good?
I think good. Why don't you continue?
Okay, so our next draft there is going to be MLS by PSAP. This does look at voice quality. One is actually where we don't want it to be two, or is this the right? Oh, let's start. Okay. It's like, what does that look like? Anything that's in that level 4 or above is what we're looking for. And as you can see, everything is 4 or above. Lists out the individual PSAPs below, but it's a little too small to see them all. The VQES, this is by the ECMC route. Also, we're looking at this to be 4 or above, which we are successful both from Denver and Miami for that one. When we go to the next one, this is our packet loss percentage, also by ECMC route. Less or equal to 0.5% is what we're looking at. And that one has fallen into the tariff guidelines, both again for Denver and Miami. And the last chart on this particular data set is delay variation or jitter. As always, a reminder, less than or equal to 20 milliseconds is what the tariff calls for. This graph, we pull the metrics in microseconds, otherwise we wouldn't see anything. And everything is within range here as well. So nothing super exciting coming out of good old Splunk for March.
All right, any questions for Lumen? Hearing none, let's go to the spreadsheet.
This is where your questions will come into play, right? All right. I know Kim Haig is on the call, and I'm happy to report on her behalf that first line item here. We're done. All of the alley node locations have been moved over. PSAP participation, you guys I heard from Entrado were fantastic, very helpful, responsive, and helped us get this taken care of. So I'm going to be taking that off of this list and moving it to the completed section for next time, but just wanted to give Kim a couple seconds if there's anything you wanted to add.
Nope, nothing more to add. Just again, what Tracy just said is thank you so very much to all the PSAPs. They were very gracious and cordial and helped us out, and it moved along very quickly. So I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Kim. Delta. I saw some emails from Delta, from my knock, and from Andrew. I think this has been fixed and can also be removed. I don't want to do that until I get confirmation today, but I believe my technician Byron put something into place that was temporary. Entrado then went and made some changes. The temporary fix was lifted, and I haven't heard that we're still having the issue. Is there anybody on the call that can confirm this is taken care of?
This is Chris with Delta. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we haven't had any other outages since you guys worked on the firewall, so we believe it is fixed. However, back during this, I have been removed from the notifications, and they only go to the dispatch email that's just kind of a group email to the dispatchers on the floor. So I still need to work with you or Andrew or somebody to get myself added back into email notifications so I know when there's an outage. But as far as this issue, we believe it is finally resolved.
Okay. And Andrew, do you know the contact list that we need to reach out to make sure Chris is getting notifications?
Yes, I think that that's probably going to be in an RG form on our end to add another person on there.
Okay.
Or back on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was getting them, and then I was getting phone calls and asked just to get emails, and somehow I got deleted completely.
Okay. We'll work on that for you.
Thank you.
And then I'll move this to the closed column. Of course, if it starts happening again, certainly reach out and let us know. But I'm glad to hear that one got resolved. I think Jeff Winkleman was working on this next one. He hopefully is going to be joining at the end of the meeting, but he had a conflict at the beginning. It looks like the second Lumen circuit is still with product and legal. I received that from him yesterday. And I did, I think a couple weeks ago, confirm with Comcast that it's looking like summertime for them. So the thought was Lumen could get a circuit in prior to Comcast and it would be faster. But without Jeff getting an update from legal and product, I don't have anything on that this morning. Like I said, if he joins at the end, we could circle back. As far as Vail and Pitkin, I do know that we did give Brett, I believe you have an 18-month quote that is just, if approved, great, we can move forward. And if not, I'd ask that you circle back with Jeff if you guys have any changes. But I did see that the quote went out for the 18 months as requested. The state line transfer, that is still at a higher level within Entrado. One of my counterparts, Angela, who is actually assigned to the state of New Jersey, is kind of taking the lead on this one. Lumen is preparing a countrywide, if you will, process for this rather than just focusing on Colorado or Wyoming or, not a state by state basis. So more to come on that one. It's going to be more of a corporate rollout. As far as ECATS goes, we still are working on that with Kayla and the individual locations that have not gone live yet, reaching out to them as they're ready to roll out ECATS. I saw some communication. This one was specific to Pitkin. Jeremy, I saw that you responded to us today. Not sure if Jeremy's on. As far as the issues that are still being seen between Vail and Pitkin for ECATS. So there is continued communication going on with that. The next one here, we're looking at Westco, and I went ahead and copied some tickets in there because I was getting some of the Westco and Delta conversations mixed up. This one, the last update was this morning, where Lumen is still waiting to hear back from Comtech. That would be the Lumen NOC. And I don't believe Alex had any additional examples to share with us, but we are still pending an update from Comtech.
Hi, Tracy. Alex is out for training, but I know he was working with the PSAP to collect more data if there was any. So hopefully we can have more information next week, but we are still looking to hear from Lumen from Comtech.
Okay. And I saw that this morning that my NOC was going to ping Comtech again.
Thank you.
Yep. Network performance project. Jeff did send an updated, again, this is a tentative rollout schedule for this performance enhancement. Stephen, I think you, Kathy, and Jennifer might have received that. I'm seeing it for the first time this morning too, so we can certainly look at it. Might be more beneficial if you guys all take a look at it like you did last time and send us any feedback. We did remove some locations that Kimberly pointed out. And just a reminder, you know, it's kind of a work in progress. This changes all the time. So we want this to be a working document, a working schedule. We'll start to roll it out as best we can. We tried to do it by areas within the state to just make it easier. And there are some locations that have reported to Jeff and or Kevin that they'd like to go later in the year. So very flexible, very accommodating. You know, we want to do this in a manner in which it makes sense to the PSAP. So I think, Stephen, if you guys don't mind sharing that with the broader group like we did last time, then you guys can provide feedback. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll send it out. We just got it this morning, haven't had a chance to look at it. I would ask you guys, since it's a working document, how will we know how often to either receive it or check back to make sure we are aware of the edits?
Yep. So what we sent you today is the schedule that Lumen would like to follow. The only time my understanding that it would change is, let's just say, for example, Boulder County said, I don't want to go, you know, when we start throwing dates in there, if you guys aren't ready, we're going to have, you would need to let us know, hey, you know, we need to go first or we need to go last. This is just, Jeff, I think, tried to break it down by region so that we're doing, you know, the central part of the state at one time and the southern part of the state at one time. He tried to group the PSAPs by color in their distance to one another. So we don't have dates in there, obviously, because we don't know for sure when the first round is going to start. They're working on getting circuits ordered. But this is the grouping. So like section 5, we will try to do all together. Section 4, we would try to do all together. And I don't know if we have, Jeff would know more about a start date for those of you that fall into category number 1, because he works with, now it's Sharon Smith on our side to get those circuits ordered. That obviously has to come first. So for example, if Delta County knew there was no way you were going to be ready in the near future, we would want you to share that information so we could put you down at the bottom. This was also, Jeff updated it based on some feedback that we got last time on some sites that we needed to remove.
All right, sounds good. This will go out later this morning. As soon as this meeting's over, I'll get it forwarded out to everybody to take a look at, and we'll wait to hear for any updates from you guys.
Perfect. And you can send your comments or concerns to the whole group. If you want to just send them to me, I'll share with Jeff. It's whatever works best for you guys. Next one, I got some clarification from you guys on this. This is for the OSP meeting request. I was asked by my team if this is something that could be discussed at our next ESINet meeting, which would be in May. or if it was something that should be discussed outside of this larger meeting, we would be available the week after the meeting scheduled in May. I wasn't sure for Jennifer if this is something that is part of the whole group or if it's a separate conversation. So I think our users group meeting is set for May 14th. Kim Kunkelman and the rest of the Lumen folks said they could be available May 21st if we needed it to be a separate call. This is for the FCC report and order conversation.
What's the interest on making this a separate call? I hate to mess up the cadence of this meeting because people plan around it, especially since it's next month.
Right, and I didn't know if it was supposed to be the whole group or if the request, because I'm not usually part of these conversations, or if the request was for a smaller group of people to get together and talk about this.
This is Jennifer. The request was for the entire ESINet users group, but the reasoning behind requesting a separate meeting was so that we can continue ESINet users group business while also having this conversation. And the purpose was just to get a feel for CenturyLink and Intrado's progress on being ready for when on basically CenturyLink and Intrado's readiness for a valid request because Colorado doesn't want to make a valid request for this until CenturyLink and Intrado are ready, if that makes sense.
Okay. Let me.
To put it another way, I think it was going to be an additional single purpose meeting.
Right.
If we do it at the regular users group meeting, how long have we extended the length of the users group meeting? Would we have time for that as a separate item?
Historically, this group has gone to the end and then over. So I see value in maintaining normal business in our standing meetings and having this as a separate meeting, but with the entire group, it sounds like.
Yeah, I thought we had talked about maybe scheduling this for for like 2 hours since we always go over, which might allow us to include it in the meeting. Just asking as a question.
We were going to extend it to 1 hour and a half, I believe, for this meeting. And I'm going to need other folks' input with historical knowledge of this specific conversation. Sounds like it could go a while and we need to focus on that. Is there support for scheduling a separate meeting for just this? And Joe, to your point, I do think we are going to extend this meeting to 1 hour and a half for future. Maybe we could start doing that in May.
So would this separate meeting be like a one-time deal to bring everyone up to speed and then add it to the standard ESINet meeting? Or would it be an ongoing separate meeting and primarily asking for some of the folks within Lumen that would be more of a part of it than myself?
Tracy, this is a one-time separate meeting.
Okay.
To get an understanding from Lumen and Intrado on the progress that's being made to meet the requirements of the FCC report and order so that we as an ESINet users group can plan for when we would make that request. There's no point in the state making a request to have this, to start the clock ticking to have this happen if CenturyLink and Intrado are not going to be ready until X date. And the last time we had this conversation, the indication was that CenturyLink and Intrado were working on it, but they didn't have a time frame yet. So the request is for a single separate meeting to assess the timeline and CenturyLink and Intrado's readiness for this process. It's not an ongoing meeting. It's one meeting.
Okay, so I did have an email chain going. It looks like Tim is on from Lumen, and I know Intrado was a part of that to come up with a date. And if it was going to be outside of the ESINet users group meeting for this one time. The request was on May 21st. Tim, does that still work for you?
Yep.
Okay. And Rich Johnson, are you on by chance still? I know you had to drop.
Yeah, I'm here. That'll work.
Can
we'll
you make
it
the
work.
21st work?
Yep.
Okay, so Jennifer, do you want to schedule that or do you want me to? How would you like to do it on Wednesday, May 21st?
What time?
Yeah, Steve is the chair, so he gets to schedule it.
Okay, perfect. And I would ask Tim and Rich because I'm not a huge part of the meeting. I'd like to attend, but I can be very flexible.
And try to make any time work.
Matt, did you catch your hand up?
Yes, thank you. Enterprise board meets at 3 p.m. on the 21st, 3 to 4.
Morning work, 9 o'clock.
It's okay here. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt. 9 a.m. Any major conflicts with especially the presenters? All right, hearing no conflict, we will get a meeting invite out for a one-time meeting. And then there was a second suggestion from a previous meeting, and it was just brought up again by Joe, to extend this meeting to an hour and a half. Is there any opposition to that? I feel like the last time there was a pretty fairly unanimous agreement because we end up going over, and I guess our goal would be to give time back, but at least put the time on people's calendars to be 90 minutes. Any opposition to that starting in May?
Yeah, I can do 90 minutes on behalf of Lumen.
All right, we will also update that calendar invite moving forward.
Okay. Thank you guys. And again, apologies for the misunderstanding on my part. I just wanted to make sure we have the right people involved, and one-time meeting is a great idea. The last one on my tracker, I know I saw some conversations right before this meeting. This was, and Andrew, you might know more, trying to just investigate the different numbers and TNs and lists that were given by Lumen versus Intrado. And Andrew was going to try to stare and compare and talk to Alex and find out exactly what the true list is. I think that is still happening right now.
Yeah, and I spoke to Alex last week because we had, I think, that like he said, that this was something that they found while we were looking at the other issue. So some of the emails had the same heading, but they were about different things. And so yeah, I'm trying to be as thorough as possible to pull out all the information we've already sent, about the non-dialable numbers and, some of the dialable ones. And from the Lumen and Intrado perspective, and then send you guys, like a final, hey, this is it from both of us. So I will get you an update back on that email string this week, hopefully finished. If not, I'll still send an update, but it should be soon. I just want to make sure to try and do it one more time, very thorough, and capture everything.
Andrew, thank you. It's next week is fine with Alex being out for training the rest of this week. That's fine. Keeping things separated into their own email threads definitely is key to this. And I'll just say, when we started observing other numbers that certain parties did or didn't know about, that's when we started to get concerned and started asking more about this. Like, well, if you didn't know about this number, what else is out there? And so that's what's still driving this deep dive.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I think that is the last item on our tracker today. I did want to real quick just ask you guys, has it been helpful to receive this, weekly versus waiting until each month, just to give you updates a little bit quicker? maybe.
Sounds like there's no direct feedback, but what I can say is I think it's always helpful to see it more consistently and not just one to review just before the meeting.
Okay.
This is Matt. I like seeing it. It's a good visual tracker to see on a regular basis.
Okay.
I will continue to send it out as soon as we get it from Tracy and her team.
Great. Thank you, guys.
All right, ECAT's implementation progress report.
So Steve, that's kind of covered as a line item within the tracker.
Yep.
We can certainly leave it separate. We still have the same, I think, 11 or so locations that we're waiting for them to be ready to reach out to myself and Kayla at Entrado.
Okay, that sounds good. I noticed that. I didn't know if there was anything specific, unique that you wanted to do, but it sounds like we'll just roll that into number 4 for the next one.
Okay.
Strategic plan update. There was a vote that went out. I believe we had 13 or 14 votes for yes. Jennifer, do you have any updated numbers?
No, we only have 13 votes, which is obviously not a majority.
Yeah. So since we don't have a majority vote, we're going to resend that out. I'll work with Jennifer to do that to make sure we gather more and get to a quorum. Sounds like we're going to need to table that one until the next meeting so we can push out for more votes. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Yeah, I think so. And so far the votes have all been affirmative. We just need more.
Sounds good. We will also send that out to remind folks to vote. FCC order and report, Jennifer.
I think Joe has his hand up.
Oh, sorry. Thanks. Joe.
My question was just, do you want to do that meeting, that vote during this meeting? Take it, have everybody oppose or approve it, vote?
We could. Can we poll Jennifer through? Well, some people have already voted, but I guess they could vote again and we could then cross-reference the votes.
Yeah, the challenge is that we don't have the entire membership here on the meeting. What I could do though is send out the link for the poll or the vote on the chat here. And if you haven't voted, then go ahead and vote now. And then we can send it out again to the entire group to get the rest.
That sounds like a great compromise. Kills two birds with one stone. So let's throw that in the chat, and we'll also send it out by email, and then we'll get a tally and reconcile that vote for the next meeting.
And we move to accept by acquiescence.
Was that a motion, Jeff?
Yeah.
I
Was
move
that a
that we
formal
accept
motion?
by acquiescence based on the votes you've gotten. Do you need a majority of votes?
If I'm not mistaken, the bylaws say you need a majority. I'd have to look it up. Like I said, I have that stuff doesn't stick in my head, so I'd have to look it up. But there's the form. So if you haven't voted yet, there's the form to vote.
Jeff, I appreciate the effort for efficiency, but we'll definitely reference the bylaws. But let's move forward with everybody that's on this meeting that has a vote that hasn't voted. Please vote, and then we'll come back at the next meeting with the final tally.
And I apologize if I vote twice.
Jennifer, with your tally, are you able to cross-reference if that happens?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did vote twice, Carl. It's okay.
The American way.
Vote early, vote often.
Jennifer, can you see if I feel like I already did it, but now I'm questioning myself.
Hold on. Yes, you voted already.
I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. But we did just get 5 more responses just by sending it out in the meeting. So good job, everybody. Thank you, Daryl, in the chat.
Jennifer, FCC order and report.
Okay, so this is kind of going along with what we talked about we will talk about in the special meeting in May. But we just kind of wanted to highlight that the FCC rules did go into effect for those next gen 911 transition requirements for the OSPs, and the readiness form is ready to make that valid request. Stressing again that for Colorado and the way that we function, that valid request is going to need to come at a statewide level and not an individual governing body or PSAP level. Daryl, did you have anything to add on this conversation?
Not really, other than until there's the ability to relay those calls to the PSAP in I3 format, I don't know that there's a huge urgency to do this. So we'll be kind of following CenturyLink's ability to receive calls in SIP format. And I know that's something that you guys were working on last year. So when CenturyLink gets to that point, then we can start talking about what our timeline should be for the filing the requests.
Thanks, Daryl. So any questions on that? And we'll be looking more for more information from CenturyLink and Entrado at the May 21st meeting on their timeline and readiness. And unless there are questions, that's all I have on that, Steve.
Okay, great. And I think you have the next one too.
I do. Okay. So this is more of an information only for everybody. But the PIMSA, which I forget the acronym, has set rules now that require the major class 1 railroads starting June 24th. And then the smaller railroads have another year to go. They're going to require these railroads to provide real-time train consist information. Consist is the train word for what they're carrying to PSAPs in a method that is desirable to the PSAPs. And when I first read this, I was like, oh my God, our PSAPs are going to be inundated with train information for every train that goes through their area. No, that's not the case. When an incident or an accident involving a train carrying hazardous materials occurs, the railroad must electronically transmit the train information to the PSAP to assist with the response to the incident. And so I bring this to your attention so that you can know that the railroads will be reaching out to you to determine how you want to receive that information, or they might wait and not do it until the incident actually occurs, and then they're going to ask you how you want to get that information. And you can tell the railroad how you want that to be sent, whether it's email, fax, a different software application to which you both have access, et cetera, et cetera. And this tells you what information should be included as well. So I'm going to drop the link to this page that we're looking at into the chat. And it's really just an awareness that the railroads now have this requirement starting in June, and you should be hearing from them, and that's what they'll be asking for. There you go.
Great information. Any questions for Jennifer? Thanks for dropping that in the chat. Just another big piece of information for our staff who we'll have to individually figure out what we do with that. But good information to have, especially for our first responders. Calls unable to reach 911 network with Wi-Fi calling. Kimberly, saw you were on.
Thanks, Steve. And I just wanted to brief everybody on this situation. I don't have the cause yet, but we've had several reports of T-Mobile customers using T-Mobile Wi-Fi calling, and their 911 calls are not reaching the 911 network. It's not that we see them coming into the 911 network and then they're just not being delivered. We just don't even see them being able to leave the T-Mobile network and get to the 911 network. So I do have a ticket opened with T-Mobile to work through that, but I just wanted to bring that to everyone's awareness in case you receive some strange reports as well from your community members that they're having a hard time reaching 911 and then diving into the Wi-Fi calling element of it. We know that they have service and good connection, because when they can't reach 911, then they're hanging up and calling the 10-digit admin lines and getting through just fine. We also have been able to take a look at those customers with T-Mobile that are trying the satellite, the Starlink backhaul option with their service, which is text only right now, and it's in a beta. But that doesn't seem to be part of this. This truly seems to be isolated to T-Mobile Wi-Fi calling. So just wanted to bring that to your awareness. And as we work through the process with T-Mobile, we'll keep everybody updated.
Questions? I got a couple hands on Michael.
Good morning. Kimberly, do you know if they've signed up? Typically, there's a second step when they say, yes, I want to allow Wi-Fi calling. There's a second step where they have to initiate like a 911 location, put in a home address, put in some frame of reference for the location. I'm wondering if maybe they're not doing that and that's blocking their throughput to 911.
So my understanding, Michael, is that the one citizen, we have a citizen right now, we've had multiple reports of this, but we have one citizen that it was a medical emergency. And so he's been really committed to help us solve and isolate the problem. And so, yes, he has done that and has entered in his address, and he still couldn't get through even when we've been testing offline.
Thank you.
You bet.
Matt.
Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. It's good to be aware of. Just a curiosity, are you noticing if Rapid SOS is picking up on the attempted call through their data collection?
No, but what is interesting for any of you that have prepared, the way that this started to get reported to us is prepared was getting a trigger notification in the system that a call attempted to be made. So it was like an abandoned 911 call, but the 911 call didn't make it, that we can tell, into Rapid SOS. It didn't make it to the ESINet.
Mm-hmm.
Our dedicated tech, can look at the calls to see if it somehow entered in and then just didn't get delivered. But we're not seeing it at all making it to 911, but prepared did trigger. And so that's what really started to key us in on what is going on and why did that call not ring in and then go abandoned in our CPE equipment. And it's just, so it's making it to a data broker and then not being delivered into the network that we can tell right now. So T-Mobile's got their NOC involved and their engineers and taking a look, but it looks like it's not even getting to that handoff.
Right on. Thanks.
Yeah.
Kimberly, do you have any requests for this group as you work through the investigation?
Not at this time, Steve, because for us, we always look at it as CPE. Is it 911 ESINet? Is it carrier? Right now, this is looking and feeling a lot like carrier. So just an awareness for everybody. It is always helpful if you are aware to then, is it all carriers? Everything with cell, that home Wi-Fi connection? Right now, it does look like it could be a T-Mobile and isolated to that. So just an awareness, which will help everybody try to drill deeper into the problem if it is persisting outside of our area. And I have to assume it's not isolated to just T-Mobile Wi-Fi callers located in Lambert County. So you may also have that in your jurisdiction to just start tracking.
Sounds good. Is there any discovery with different physical devices, Android versus Apple?
Steve, no, not that we have logged. And it's also hard to find citizens that are really willing to dive in with us and troubleshoot with you. But that will be definitely something that we can continue to log to see if it's also isolated to some sort of device limitation.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for bringing it up. It sounds like we'll keep this one on the agenda each month as you gather more information. And if anybody has any similar issues, definitely go direct with Kimberly so she can gain more knowledge from whatever experiences you guys are having. Any more questions for Kimberly? All right, I see none. Public comment, non-voting members. There are none. Any other comments?
Steve, this is Jennifer. Just to heads up, we will also be moving our recordings to the PUC YouTube page. And as soon as I make that change, I will put a link on the task force page. All of our past meetings will also be archived. It'll just look a little different.
Sounds good. Thanks for that information, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Any other comments before we move toward adjournment? All right, hearing none. Ironically, after talking about extending the meeting, we are actually going to give you guys 11 minutes of your day back. But I do think it's important to keep this, to move forward with that hour and a half. It tends to go over more than it stays consistent with the 1 hour. So Jennifer, would you mind updating those, moving for the 1 hour to 1.5, and then we'll get one out as soon as with CenturyLink for the meeting, the special meeting. That'll be another thing coming your way. We'll get the voting link back out and updated information when it comes to the spreadsheet from CenturyLink that we got this morning too.
I will take care of all that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know this was my first meeting as chair. I've got a family commitment in May that I will be absent for. Kathy will take the reins again for that 1 month, and then I'll be back with you guys. I'll be here for that special meeting, but I just won't be able to make that one. That's our normal scheduled time.
Thank you for taking it on, Steve.
Hey, my pleasure. I appreciate it. And thanks for rolling with me as I learn. And holler at me if you have any questions. Move to adjourn. Any
So-
seconds?
Second.
All right. Thanks, Carl. We are adjourned, and I will see you guys for the special meeting.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.